Welcome back, my fellow duplicants, to Oxygen Not Included. So today we're continuing the Super Dupe Mega Base, and we are going to be trying to get into the star map here and actually bring back some goodies from one of these asteroids. So what I would like to bring back is some fullerene and niobium over here, and that will allow me to get to higher temperature materials, which is niobium, and the fullerene will actually allow me to get supercoolant, a little bit of supercoolant. Now, one of the other things that we can bring back here is some goodies from this asteroid, which would also give us niobium and a little bit of iso resin right down here, which is something completely different than isorine. I don't know what isorine is, but iso resin is definitely something that we can use to make some visco gel, which is, I would say it's less important than bringing back fullerene down here, which even though it's only available in trace amounts, maybe I'll be able to get enough to actually make some supercoolant. My other goal here is to get rid of the steam engine and upgrade it to a petroleum engine so that I can bring back research from this rocky asteroid, which is 30,000 kilometers out there. So that'll bring back some research that we can actually use to upgrade even further and get a hydrogen engine and potentially some liquid oxidizer tank, which would be really good for liquid oxygen. The last thing I want to look into here is how I'm actually going to set up my silos. So from my previous video right here, which was rocket power, you guys are really leaving a lot of really good comments about how we can actually capture more energy from these rockets and potentially use it for power or use it to convert fuel. At least those are two things that I've already done, but there's also good chances that we can actually harvest some of the gases or fuel that we actually burn off of these rockets, maybe recapture it and reprocess that. And I would like to actually do that with some of these rockets. However, I don't have enough space for that over here because this is where my duplicates are going up to the surface. So there's a good chance I'm not going to have the rest of my rocket silos right here. For today, I'll keep them here because I've already got something built. So I'm guessing most of my rockets are going to end up over here because I'm going to need a good amount of space for equipment down here below the rockets. One of the things that I showed in that video is that the flame from these rockets actually goes down 9 tiles. So if we were to just point this out right down here, that's 9 tiles down. So if I'd built this rocket right over here, I would have absolutely cooked. My duplicates or this jet suit, this whole area would be like cooked. Super hot. Okay, so if I take a look at the rocket that's going to go out there and do the research, it has 5 research modules on it. It's using the petroleum engine, so it's 832 kilograms of liquid fuel, 832 of oxalate. Now the thing is, you don't want to overfill your oxalate and stuff like that because you add more mass to the rocket. Therefore, you actually need more fuel to get it off the ground. Don't overfill your rockets if you can help it. Now, to get a cargo bay out there to 20,000 kilometers, what do I need to do here? Cargo bays weigh a lot more than the research stations, so it takes a fair bit more fuel. So 595 for the liquid, or if I wanted to get 2 all the way out there, I'd need to step it up to 1,037 kilograms, which is beyond 1 fuel tank. So I'm not sure that's completely worth it, so I'm just going to go with 1 cargo bay. And you know what? Maybe just 1 research thing just to round it up to an even 600. Look at that. It's only 5 kilograms. So, hold up. How much can we get in there? We can get up to like 900. If we really wanted to, we could throw a bunch of research stations on top of this thing, which I might as well do because it's going to be efficient for the cycles, and I can always just deconstruct these things later, and it's not like fuel is all that expensive. So that's yet another reason for me to make taller silos, with the idea that these things are just going to be big. And one goal that I'd like to keep for my silos here is that I would like to have an extra tile up here just in case I wanted to push this command capsule just 1 taller and still have it be underneath the door. So rather than this ending up right down here, I want to bring it down 1 tile. So I think I'll try to put like a little guideline in here and start to map out where I want these rocket silos to be in the future. I don't have all the steel that I need to make them all right now, but in the future I will. Okay, so the amount of fuel I'll need for this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can only put 4 on there. So I got to take that up from 595 to 672. And one of the other things that I need to keep in mind here is that these things, we need to empty them. And one of the things that we can use here is a conveyor rail. It'll actually automatically export the material once you get back. So I'm just going to go ahead and make this steel, and I'm just going to use a conveyor chute just to drop this material off to the left when it comes back. So what I could do is just put a little tile right down here, and boom, that's where that material is going to drop once it comes back from space. So one of the cool silo setups that I've seen over here came from X-Quad, and you can see what they're doing is really cool in that they have two silos, or two rockets side by side, and that kind of makes it, well, it just looks really clean in my opinion. Look at how clean that looks. One of the other tricks that they're using right here is that rather than using ladders to go up and put the pilot in the rocket, actually just using jetpacks. We were talking about that on the Discord channel as well, if it was possible, and this is an example of where that's being used. So that could potentially save you one piece of equipment if you didn't really want to have it there. And it also keeps one spot from, potentially collecting debris. So the other thing that X-Quad is actually doing down here is collecting thermal energy from the rockets just from right when it takes off the platform. And they're actually turning that into electricity down here. I think they're using a heat tube, it looks like, or a heat pipe essentially, just to go from here down there and to transform that into electricity via steam with many Wheezworts. Well, we don't necessarily quite have that same Wheezwort capacity that we have now, but that is one potential idea to harvest electricity from it. I think I might try to use our system to do something a little bit different once I finally go through all of these different comments down here and actually go through more experiments revolving around what's going to happen here. I mean, there's 1,000 ideas that you guys are dropping me right now. So I think there's a lot of cool experiments we could do here. One of them is again, I think capturing some of that steam back. If we were to do it just like this, like when this thing goes to launch off, will we actually collect carbon dioxide down here? We'll find out. We'll do a little bit of an experiment in this video. If so, rather than just having a big block of something down here, what we have is we have this pocket with thermal shift plates behind it. So not only can we build up a lot of thermal energy, we might be able to capture some of the gases that come out of the engine. Maybe, maybe not. There's also background buildings that we could throw up here, and all sorts of things like conveyor rails that we could build in the back, pipes we can throw in the back, and those can capture thermal energy as well. So, and it isn't just about thermal energy. I mean, these things, the hydrogen engine gives off steam, petroleum engine gives off a lot of carbon dioxide, which is a little less useful. Not to mention there's carbon dioxide like everywhere, so it's not as valuable as steam. But I wonder if we're going to end up with a self-powering rocket. That's what I'm wondering about. Hey, come on, dupes. Let's build this thing. Priority level 1. What are you doing? I got rockets to launch, places to go, stars to see. Okay, so I'm just going to finish up this one rocket I already have built. I wish, darn it, why can't I do that? Good job, dupes. All right. Guys are making good progress here. Let's go ahead and throw down a couple of bunker doors. So there we go, just a slight advancement in the automation signals here. Instead of putting the knot right down below there, I could just kind of line it up right there. Just shifted everything to the left once. Now I don't really plan to keep these space scanners up top. I'll actually have to put them down below somewhere. Although the thing is, now that I'm going to have all this equipment down there, where am I going to put the space scanners? Maybe I just line them all up in one spot and run wires. Who knows? Uh-oh. How much fuel did you put in here, dupes? Oh no! The thing is, when I look away, these dupes run a whole bunch of oxalate right into these storage tanks here. Okay, how much did I need to go to 30,000? I have 5 of these. We're going to 30,000. 832. So if you type in a lower number and you have too much in here, the dupes will actually take it out. So that's handy. Same goes for the fuel. So I'm going to run this fuel just from here to there. Boom. Done. Okay, so one of the big advantages of converting oil into petroleum via heat is that we maintain more actual mass, right? So when we use an oil refinery, if we actually take a look at what that is and how it works, it brings in crude oil and then it processes that crude oil into petroleum, but it loses 50% of the mass. And some of that gets turned into natural gas, and that's the rest of it kind of gets destroyed or whatever. So it's not a very efficient way to convert crude oil into petroleum. It works, but it's not necessarily the end game way of doing it. However, if you can use heat to convert crude oil, you can see here that once it goes to 400 degrees Celsius, it changes from crude oil into petroleum at a 1-to-1 ratio, which is kind of the key thing behind a lot of my unlimited energy videos, is that, you know, and all of that really crazy stuff, is that, you know, you get a lot of petroleum. And you can actually, there's a lot of different ways to get crude oil. And if you can maintain that, the amount of petroleum that you can get out of that rather than lose it by converting it via the equipment, you can actually make very efficient systems. So it would be really cool to do that, but using a rocket. Holy moly, where you going, buddy? I didn't set any did I set a location? No! No! I got busy talking. Well then, I guess we're going to get some research from an asteroid we've already been to. It's not a very efficient way to go, but oh well. Is what it is now. Okay, so our second rocket here, the one that's actually going to be traveling out there and bringing material back, that rocket is named Squish. Thank you so much for being a Patreon supporter. However, we need to give you a duplicate so that you can actually fly. So let's go ahead and work on that. I think the duplicate I'm going to go with here, if we just take a look at who all we have, is going to be Biker Puppy. Now, unfortunately, we don't quite have the skills here. I can get you into rocket wearing, but I cannot get you into rocket navigation because ooh, maybe. Wow, that's really close. All right. We'll see if he gets stressed out or not. Wah. Nice upgrade. All right, now don your super fancy hat. I do like that hat. It's pretty cool. You know, I'm kind of curious because I've never ever tried it, but what happens if you were to take a rocket and put a rocket beneath it? Could you potentially launch 2 rockets out of the same silo? I'm just kind of curious about that one. Do I have everything I need? Biker Puppy, jump on in this thing. Meow, look how fast he's going. Bam! All right, so Al Gore's already off to this metallic asteroid because I accidentally launched it there. So we'll send another rocket to the exact same asteroid as well. But this time we're actually going to bring back resources. So just a trace amount of fullerene, which I'm curious how much that's going to be. And then a little bit of niobium. So that means we have all of these requirements met. So if we flip that, that will begin the sequence. The doors will open and the rocket will fire up. Oh, and by the way, so if we take a look at the gases here, just out of curiosity, right? There's a bunch of carbon dioxide that's being blown around coming out of this rocket. So you'd actually have to have these doors open in order for some to go inside of there. But look at what else is happening inside of here. Whatever was in there turned into sand. Something got converted inside of there. Does glass melt into sand? Is that what's going on here? No, it goes into molten glass. Oh, you know what? Polluted oxygen. Maybe we ended up putting some polluted water or something down there. Turned to steam and left some dirt. I'm not sure, but that's the only thing I can think of right now. Good question. Okay, dupes, I want you to dig all of this. Good luck. Try not to get yourself entombed. And why am I missing 2 atmosuits? Dupes, what'd you do? Okay, so one of the other things I'd like to do now is start to build up more and more hydrogen, right? Just because there's going to be a big need for hydrogen when it comes to trying to fuel that rocket. So over here I can store 5 kilograms per tile because that's as much as this hydrogen vent can put out. So I'm going to use a door compressing method, which I've already used once thus far down there for the natural gas, to store up a large pressure spot for right down here for all of the hydrogen. So one thing I can do is I can actually go up here and I could just kind of connect these two if I really wanted to. But the other thing is, rather than burning this for power, I want to take the hydrogen that's coming out of my electrolyzer system here and pump that into this area so that I can actually use it. Or store it, I should say. Because over here I have more than enough power being generated for all sorts of stuff. The last thing I have going on here, because there's a lot going on in this base right now, is that I am digging up lots of fossil down here. And the reason I'm doing that is so that I can build more and more steel. Because I have a large need for lots and lots of steel. Hey, look at this. Another oil reservoir. Excellent. Aha! They started to dig. Good job, dupes. Are they on strike? I don't see them working. And they're all down here. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have queued them up to sweep for like 1,000 hours. Hey man, I want to sweep my whole base up. I want to keep it clean. But then again, I have some gas problems down here. Should probably take care of that too. That's all right. We'll use some canister fillers and we'll just get rid of this sour gas down there. I suppose I could just use a robo miner to dig some of this stuff out. Let's go ahead and try that. There we go. Okay. What we'll do is I'll just set the priority just a little bit higher right here so that gets done. And then we'll try to let the robots do the rest of the work. So what do my dupes do? They come on over here and start digging. Aha! There we go. Way to go, robot digger. Of course, now all my dupes are into it, so they're just going to dig this entire thing. Victor's like, nah, I got this. Watch me dig. No, you see, you guys are supposed to protect the spot from having more stuff drop on us, while these dig out below that. I hope. It tried, but it didn't work. Okay, Rocket, are you about to come back? Yes. Okay, good. Okay, so just in case here, we'll set the auto launch to be off so my rockets don't just run away from me the instant they come back. Let's make sure my sweeping priority is correct. So I'm sweeping Maffic rock and all of that stuff. That should just go, yes, right there, and then drop onto the ground. Perfect. You gotta keep things clean. By clean, we're really just sweeping it under the rug, but hey, it's my good enough definition of clean. Hey, here's the rocket. All that for 50 data. Why'd you take off like that? Al Gore, you're going here. So there's a debuff for when your duplicates actually pee in their suit. It's plus 40% per cycle. So Kaya's not really having the best cycle right now. But then again, she could dig these two tiles, but she's choosing not to. So it's kind of her own fault. Regardless, I think I'll go ahead and send her down here to the neural vacillator. Here you go, dig yourself to freedom. All right, what do you got? Guy's brain is still vibrating, but they've never felt better. Beefsteak. I have a lot of these. I would much rather have the sunny disposition trait, if possible. You can't have everything you want. Okay, so do we have enough fuel? 832, 832. Everything is set. All right, let's get this research run on the way. Yeah, might want to watch out, Otto. Watch out, Hans! Hans, no! Oh, I guess you're just fine. Never mind. All right, there goes another rocket. Into the star map. Oh, that one's gonna take 8.2 cycles. Ugh. All right, so how hot is this stuff down here? Ooh, 800 degrees. All right, so that's starting to look a little bit better. The thing is, I don't need all of this stuff down here. It's just actually, it's not doing me any good. And then I'll try to rebuild it over here, but better. And the other thing you guys were telling me is that I can deconstruct this and actually just put insulation behind it. And because I can afford it now, I'm actually going to go ahead and build this up one additional row of doors. Crap. Now the reason I'm doing that is it can clear more regolith. And as you can see, there are some times where you get a really heavy cycle and you need 4 doors tall. So my original design actually called for 4 tall, but I couldn't afford it at the time. So 3 works, and it's continued to work just fine. It hasn't had any real issues, but it's slightly suboptimal. So I'll go ahead and beef that up just a little bit. You see, it still detects the meteors and everything in enough time for it to close, even if there is regolith up there. It's not a big deal. So why are you fixing it? Well, because the regolith, it sits on top every once in a while, and it kind of bugs me. Oh, interesting. See, the carbon dioxide the little dupes give off as they're flying around is enough to transfer the thermal energy from these doors into the mesh tile. Yeah, that's just kind of interesting. What can I do with this, huh? Oh, hey, look! Our rocket's back. Wow, thanks for obliterating the doors. Good job, scanner. The rocket won't hit the doors on the way out, but on the way in, every once in a while, it smashes through the doors. So now what we're going to see over here is all of the different goodies that we've actually picked up from that asteroid out there. So you can see it's just dropping onto that conveyor rail, and then it's all has all fallen down here. So what I was able to bring back was 35.8 kilograms of niobium, 377 of obsidian, 296 kilograms of copper, relatively cold by the way, iron 288, and then a little bit of fullerene, about 2 kilograms worth. Now 2 kilograms worth of fullerene is actually enough to make, I think, 200 kilograms of supercoolant. So we can actually make that now, because it only requires 1 kilogram of fullerene to make 100 kilograms of supercoolant. So I now have 20 tiles of supercoolant, so I can make a very, very small loop. However, I think I'll need a little bit more if I really want to do something like liquid oxygen. So I'll set this thing up to auto launch and we'll run out there and grab some more. All right, so if I rework this just a little bit here, rather than offloading power out of the refinement center down here, I'll actually take power out of it to run the molecular forge just a little bit. You don't have to run it a whole lot. It's not like I got a bunch that I can... So here's the other cool thing here, is I can make 100 kilograms of thermium, by consuming 5 kilograms of niobium and tungsten. So if I want to have some of that stuff, I can make it. Oops. Hey. How about you deliver some oxalite to this solid rocket booster so that I can boost it up. All right, so let's go ahead and make a little bit of supercoolant. I'm down into the single digits for frame rates. There we go. Ooh, 20. There you go, Fane. Hey! Look at that molecular forge run. That's a cool piece of equipment, isn't it? I feel like it should have like a little smiley face or something. Bloop! There we go. 1 chunk of supercoolant. This stuff is beautiful. Look at that thermal conductivity of 9.4, specific heat capacity of 8.4. It's ridiculous. Just a little bit more, rocket. There you go. Waiting for the slow dude and the jetpack. Super Meep, you didn't bring enough. All right. So there goes the next rocket. I totally forgot about this. And look at how much oxygen is down there. 62 kilograms. No, wait, don't open that side. Open this side. I want to see what happens to all of that chlorine. It just goes to show that yes, this thing does work. If you don't run power to it, I mean, it'll still continue to do its thing. Slower, but it works. Watch this. Okay, the only thing that I think I want to change here is actually make this out of insulated mafic. And I think I'll get rid of this door. Alright, so I can pretty much just sweep all of that. There we go. Get rid of that right there. I think I'll get rid of the stuff down here just for now. And I'll put a couple of gas pumps inside of there. Should probably make those out of steel just in case. And put 1 pump down low, 1 pump up top, and then put our Atmos sensor right here in the middle. As far as power is concerned, we'll just kind of plug that stuff in. I can plug it in whenever I want. And we'll just run insulated mafic right up here. And I'll bridge on over. And that'll give me a way to get 1 kilogram packets out for the hydrogen. Okay, so how many critters do you think I have in my main room? So that is not in any of these fish pens or ranches or anything. I'm talking about just fish, like the pacus down here and the shine bugs. Take your guesses below. If I just click the room overlay, I'll get some sort of number right there. 499. Make that 500. 500 critters. That ought to do it. I think I'm okay. All right, I tell you what, I'll get my dupes up here and they'll do some sweeping. I'll take care of some of this debris. Maybe that'll help the frame rate just a little bit, although I don't think it's been good for a long time at this point. And what do I have over here? Niobium, that doesn't have a home. Fullerene doesn't have a home. That stuff can just be right down here, if I can find it. Uh-oh, I've been running this metal refinery so much lately that it's now getting too hot. Actually, it's getting really hot down here. 76 degrees Celsius. I'll just have to disable it for a moment. There you go. Ooh, let it cool off a little bit. Although, I suppose what I could do is just copy the settings down here. See, it's cooler down here, 57 degrees. Aha! And let my roasted dupes recover. So, how many roasted dupes do I have? Oh, just 3. Wait a minute. This isn't a room anymore. Disable. Haha. Are these rockets back yet? Oh, just about. Sweep duplicates. Ah, I see this. I see the door opening. Nice of Biker Pup to let the space scanner know that it's coming rather than crash through the doors this time. Thank you. All right, so rather than launch this one off yet again, I kind of want to see what we get back from this rocky asteroid that's 30,000 kilometers out there. Because if it has better resources than this one, then I think I might send it out over there. Otherwise, I think I might send it to this carbon asteroid over here, so I could pick up some of that iso resin down there. That'd actually be, I mean, it would be useful for stuff. Not everything, but it would be useful. Well, we're doing all right on the research front. We're 223 into the 800 we need for that hydrogen and the liquid oxygen tank. We won't get quite enough from this next trip. I might have to start looking at what it takes to go 40,000. And there's the research rocket. And we're trying to save the game. There we go. Boom. What is this? Oh, an egg-shaped rock. Interesting. Rainbow colored, clearly a unicorn. Ooh, plus 50 to core. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's a prized possession. We'll put that on display right down here. I now have enough for a little bit more super coolant. That will bring me up to a total of 400 kilograms. All right, so Bubble's going to do a little bit of research for us. Boom, that was rather quick. All right, there's a little bit more research. Boom, okay. We're up to 523 of 800. Not bad. See, now the issue that I'm faced with here, if I wanted to go to 40,000 kilometers out there, to get there, I need 2 liquid tanks for the petroleum, which is kind of annoying. What if I throw a booster on there? Aha! See, that's where the booster comes back into play. Okay. But then again, that booster is no real different. Isn't really any different than just having the fuel tank there, is it? Because it's still going to take 1 research spot. Let's see what we have over on the rocky asteroid over here. Ooh, 8% iso resin, 3% niobium. To be honest, it's only mildly better. I mean, I do get iron ore, copper ore, sedimentary rock. I don't care about any of that. That really isn't a good place to go. This carbon asteroid, on the other hand, is a much better trip. Now, the thing is, if I configure both of these rockets to do research, and then they bring back a little bit of cargo, the requirements for that is only 360 kilograms, which isn't bad at all. Not only that, it's a very, very fast trip. So maybe I'll just make them do that run quite a bit. But you get so much more for going out there. Never mind. We'll just keep going. I'll make it to 40. I tell you what, we'll go to 40,000. One way or another, we're going to get there. However, to do that, I will need to reconfigure my rocket just a little bit here to get rid of 1 research module in favor of another liquid tank. Then again, I could send a cargo bay out there with them. Bring back a little bit of research. 6, 8, 7, there we go. So we'll do a couple of liquid fuel tanks, and we'll do the cargoes right here. It's kind of a weird looking rocket, but it'll be all right. All right, so let's unleash this hydrogen and let it flow over here. Let's just see what happens. 1 more tile, please. Duplicates. This one. Oh, and make sure you sweep. Ready, level 9. Sweep it. I know, it's hot. All right, so there we go. Let's go ahead and cover that up. And then once I activate this over here, we should start to compress it down a little bit. And hopefully the oxygen will, I don't know, pretty much just get cleared out. Yeah, all right, that's working out. Maybe, maybe not. I've run into a situation where my shine nymphs are not putting out as much light as they could. I'll try to remove a few of them. Well, they're not overcrowded, but it seems like their light has just gone out. I bet you if I reload the game, it'd probably work. Okay, so I reloaded the game and the shine bugs are back up and running, so that's really good. Glad to see that I'm able to generate all that power I'm trying to work on this thing here just a little bit so that it actually works. I just need to clear out a little bit of oxygen, I think. The door sequence seems fine. The last thing I'm waiting for up here is to just deliver the rest of the oxalate I need to power up these rockets. I'm going to send both of these rockets out to this carbon asteroid and that rocky asteroid out there. And therefore I'll bring back whatever this stuff is down here, plus whatever is above it. And I will get 150 additional there and 150 from that. So 300, and then I think plus 80 as well. So I should get 430 research out of that trip. All right, let's try this again. Open them up. Nice. There we go. Now I'm compressing that hydrogen. Perfect. And these are not plugged in, by the way. So that's just running completely without any power at all, just off of automation. What I did is I kind of customized the automation a little bit here. So it runs the buffer to filter to another buffer here. And that one is just set to 1 second to delay that. So this one closes and then that one closes just a little bit after it. So yeah, a little bit more automation going on here, but it allows me to refine what's happening. And then if I disable this, well, it's in this location, I'll actually keep all the doors closed. So I can disable that, pull this to a vacuum if I wanted to down here. Cool. That actually works out. And then when it comes to the gas down here, I can just go ahead and take all of the hydrogen that's being produced down here rather than run it to a bunch of generators. I can just pipe that into this high pressure gas vent. And I'll just continue to fill this thing up with more and more hydrogen. Awesome. Along with that, next time here, I'm definitely going to have to start to look into liquid oxygen. So hopefully I'll have the infrastructure built for the next time when these rockets come back. I'll be able to actually, be able to make use of liquid oxygen tanks, because I'll have that tank unlocked down here. Because as it is right now, I'm having a hard time making enough oxalate quick enough to really supply these rockets for these longer trips. So I've kind of gone beyond what I can do. Oops, you want to sweep that up, please? Thank you. So next time here, I'm going to try to put some of this super coolant to use and see if we can't make some liquid oxygen. At any rate, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode here of Oxygen Not Included. If this looks like the channel for you, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. As always, stay awesome, guys. Peace. Brothgar out.